Funsho and Chidi were childhood friends. They grew up together, did everything together. Their parents even became close friends through them. They met in school while they were in their first year of the senior high school days. And they became pretty much close. They studied together, and whenever their result comes out, it's always just a one difference. 70, 71, 80, 81, thereabout. They had a very serious bond and they were quite close. Now, fast forward to when they were done with high school. Funsho's parents had some financial difficulties, and so he couldn't do JAMB immediately, and it just had a huge toll upon him because he had already started preparing with Chidi for the exams. Chidi's parents already got him the JAMB form, and Chidi didn't tell Funsho that he was going to be writing JAMB because he already knew that Funsho would not be writing JAMB that year. So Chidi wrote JAMB, Chidi passed and gained admission. Before that time, they had dreamt of going to the same school, but Chidi changed school, went to a different school entirely. Several times, Funsho would call him, reach out to him, visit them. Even you'll find the parents and they'll say, "Oh, he stepped out, he'll be back." And Chidi never picked Funsho's call. After a while, Funsho was able to write JAMB and A levels, got admission into school outside his country, and traveled for his academic pursuit. That small, mild incident really hurt Funsho. That Chidi could do that to him and could hurt him. And after he gave all and all to it, because he later discovered that Chidi was already in school ahead of him and was already pursuing his life. And when they had that conversation, it is such an experience that Funsho had to go through, And so their friendship dwindled. The few times they saw, maybe when schools were on break, maybe at an event, it was hello, hi, and it wasn't like what it used to be before. Before that time, Funsho had a girlfriend, and Chidi had another girlfriend. Funsho's girlfriend and Chidi went to the same school. So while Funsho was in his school outside the shores of his country, he kept in touch with his babe. He kept the conversations going. So through his babe, he got to know things about Chidi, how Chidi was doing. Then all of a sudden, the calls reduced. Funsho's babe would always complain of long time in class, busy schedules, projects to do, and then she gets back home tired and she sleeps off. They had little time to have conversation. Years after school, Funsho had lost touch with his girlfriend and Chidi. So he came back into his country and was going to even look for them. Where are these people? Then he discovered that his girlfriend had married Chidi and they've had 2 children. And that shattered him. He was hurt. He went to see them, expressed how he felt, and then he moved on. Well, while he was in school, he made other friends, had good times, and he pretty much moved on with life. But going forward in his life, he became careful about having close friends. He didn't believe in it anymore. He just said, no, let everybody be fine. I don't want to give room for my heart to be broken again. I don't want to give room for all of these things to happen. Now, 2 things happened to Funsho. His friend disappointed him. His girlfriend left him to marry his friend. And they dated through university with the hope of they'll be getting married. They had plans in view. Their parents knew each other. It had gone that far. And eventually, it all didn't work out. Because the girl decided to marry somebody else. And Funsho says, if she had married somebody else that was not his friend, that maybe he won't feel so much hurt. But because it was his friend, and his friend didn't tell him, they both knew, and they went for each other. It took a lot from him. Now, forgiveness means that you have chosen to heal. You have chosen to release the person. It means that you are hurt, but you have chosen to let your heart go. Now, forgiveness is not memory loss. You are hurt does not mean that you're forgetting the pains that you went through. So, forgiveness means that you are hurt, but you are not going to revenge. You're not going to do anything about it. You just move on quietly. But you remember those situations. It comes back to you. You feel hurt all over again. And then you choose to still forgive. Now, forgiveness is a journey. It's a long process. For some people, it is fast. For some others, it is slow. But then again, forgiveness is done intentionally. But forgetting is not what you can control. So forgiveness is an intentional act of letting go. Forgetting is neurological. That means that your mind has a way of absorbing memories and keeping them there. And at intervals, or when things happen that triggers it, it comes out. So you can choose to have forgiven the person, and you still remember the hurt, and you still choose to forgive, and you move on. I don't want to revenge, you don't want to hurt anybody. You genuinely have let go, but you still remember, which is okay. Now, for you to properly forgive, you must first of all name the hurt. Mark out who offended you, why you felt offended, why you were hurt. Name them and deliberately decide to let go and forgive. And then, of course, do not give room to that situation to come up again. That means that you deliberately put a gap or distance, or you don't put yourself in that situation where you're likely going to be hurt again. So that means you are deliberate about the processes. You are conscious of the fact that if I do this, I may get hurt, so don't let me do that. And that was what happened to Funsho. Funsho decided not to bring any friend closer, not to be close to anybody, just to live a simple life. Even eventually, when he got to his next relationship, he talked about the past, how he had been hurt, so he could genuinely move on. Of course, he didn't see the next person through the lens of what his former girlfriend had done to him, because he knew that they were different people and they cared differently. He didn't say something like a gender condemning words like all men are scum, all women are good because somebody hurt him. No, he genuinely let go. He didn't even generalize the pain of what had happened to him, but he didn't forget it. So what he did was to use that memory wisely. Even pray and release the person. For people of faith, to deliberately, remember the good times and the good things or the good memories that he has had with his friend. To deliberately also choose to heal. And that's why we say that forgiveness is not memory loss. You have genuinely forgiven, that's fine. But your mind should keep you in check and keep you in balance. Because when it comes to forgetting or remembering, it is neurological. Forgiveness is a deliberate step. Let me just forgive, heal, and go on. And of course, it is very good to forgive, because when you forgive, you are doing yourself a whole lot of good. Forgiveness is for you, not for the person that has hurt you. Forgiveness is your own healing. Forgiveness is a way of you dusting yourself and getting back to life and work. Forgiveness is a way of reaching out to yourself again and said, yes, so I'll make it work. I won't stay with this pain. Because when you stay with the pain of hurt, it festers into evil. It festers into revenge. And you don't need that. So it is good to genuinely forgive and let go. Forgiveness makes you see that person still in a good light, and it gives you room to live a better life and understand that sometimes people do things wrong, either intentionally or not, but you still get to move on. So the question is, when you forgive, why do you still remember? And you are not going to suffer from memory loss. You will remember. But at every point of remembrance, just say to yourself, I choose to forgive. I choose to let go. So it's either you say it by conversion or by action, and genuinely, let go of the pain and heal. So that healing is for you. So it doesn't mean that you Funsho will not get back into relationships. It doesn't mean that you won't still have friends. But healing is a journey. It might take him under 5-10 years before he starts having close friends again. But he definitely gets there. So whenever you are hurt, please don't block your heart or shield your thoughts from people. Open yourself to healing, and then you're able to move on, through life. Till I come your way again, Samuel Adebowale.